U.S. Supreme Court recently opened the door to legal sports gambling across the nation. Some states, like West Virginia and Pennsylvania, have already passed legislation to prepare for this decision. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo joins us now live to tell us where Florida stands in all this. Dwayne?
Well, guys, this ruling will pretty much open up the floodgates for sports gambling for any state that wants to have it. There's quite a few states that have a head start in their legislation. And if you ask many fans, sports fans that play fantasy sports here online, it's a route they highly encourage. When it comes to fantasy sports apps like DraftKings and FanDuel, Sports Arena talk show host Evan Bush is a regular.
I think the convenience, having something on your phone where you can just go on, click whatever you want, and then deposit your money that way, I think the convenience for having sports betting on your phone is actually a good thing.
And while fantasy sports brands like FanDuel are legal and running, the typical sports book in this state is not. Ultimately, it would be up to Florida legislators to make a decision on legalization. But there's a ballot amendment later this year, Amendment 3, giving voters an exclusive right to decide whether to authorize casino gambling in the state of Florida, making things a little complicated.
There already is gambling that's allowed in parimutuel facilities and on Native American tribal lands in the state of Florida. It might be possible to introduce sports gambling there. So this is a complicated issue. We'd have to go back and look at what the existing law says, but we have pending constitutional amendments, and then possibly our Florida legislature could take action.
Associate Professor of Political Science at the New College of Florida, Frank Alcock, says depending on what decision Florida makes, there may be some federal regulation coming down the pipeline, but the state would have to come up with a framework of rules and regulations.
What types of sports gambling or wagering is allowed, where it's allowed will be the important one, and then again all a taxing and a variety of other subsidiary questions that'll be determined by our state.
Annually, illegal sports betting amounts to a $150 billion industry. Alcock says the legalization would redirect gambling that occurs offshore to the states, bringing in revenue to Florida. As a Florida sports fan, it's something Bush encourages.
Look at sports teams like the Tampa Bay Rays who want to put a new stadium into the city of Tampa. So this could be extra revenue where they don't have to go after the taxpayers' money to get these things funded. So I think it's great.
Now, this is undoubtedly a hot topic. One of the things Professor Alcock and I discussed was that this may be one of the top 3 issues going into the legislative session in 2019. Reporting live in Sarasota, Dwayne Lindo, your Suncoast News.